You remember the exact moment it started. Maybe you were sitting at your desk on some ordinary afternoon, trying to get something done, a project, an assignment, maybe just answering emails, and your laptop, the same machine that used to feel fast and reliable, just stopped responding. Not crashed, not broken, just slow, unbearably, humiliatingly slow. The cursor spinning, the screen frozen mid-thought. And in that moment of quiet frustration, a thought crept in that you didn't want to admit. Maybe it's time to buy a new one. But what if that thought was wrong? What if that laptop sitting on your desk, the one you've nearly given up on, still has years of life left in it, and the only thing standing between you and a fast, responsive machine is knowledge you simply haven't had access to yet? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. My name is Your Name, and on this channel, we don't accept the easy answer. We dig, we investigate, we look underneath the surface of things that most people walk right past. And today, the case we're cracking open is one that millions of people face every single year. A laptop that has slowed to a crawl, a machine that feels exhausted, and an industry that profits from telling you the only solution is to spend $800 on something new. We're here to tell you that is not the truth. Not even close. So let's start from the beginning. Let's go back to the scene of the crime. Chapter 1. The crime scene. Understanding what actually happened. Before you fix anything, you have to understand what you're actually dealing with. Most people make the mistake of assuming that a slow laptop is a hardware problem, that the processor is worn out, that the components are degrading, that age has simply caught up with the machine. And laptop manufacturers are more than happy to let you believe that, because the moment you believe it, you go buy a new one and put money back in their pocket. But here's what the data actually tells us. In the overwhelming majority of cases, we're talking about 9 out of 10 slow laptops. The hardware is completely fine. The processor hasn't degraded. The memory chips are intact. The machine is physically capable of performing exactly the way it did on the day you bought it. What has changed is everything running on top of it. Years of software accumulation, programs that launch automatically every single time you turn on your laptop, even though you haven't used them in months. System processes that have multiplied quietly in the background, temporary files that were never cleared, updates that layered themselves on top of previous updates, leaving behind fragments and residue that no one ever cleaned up. Your laptop didn't get old. It got buried. And every slow, agonizing second you've spent waiting for it to respond is the sound of a machine struggling under weight it was never meant to carry. Today, we start removing that weight, one layer at a time. Chapter 2. The first suspect. Startup programs. When a detective walks into a crime scene for the first time, the first thing they do is look for what doesn't belong. Things that shouldn't be there, things that have no business being in that space. And when it comes to your laptop, the startup program list is exactly that, a room full of things that have no business being there. Here is what happens every single time you press the power button on your laptop. Before you've even opened a browser, before you've typed a single word, dozens of applications are racing to load themselves into your memory. Spotify wants to be ready in case you feel like listening to music. Discord is preloading in case your friends message you. OneDrive is syncing. Teams is connecting. Skype, which you haven't used in 2 years, is sitting there quietly consuming resources, waiting for a call that will never come. Every single one of these programs decided at some point that it was important enough to run the moment your machine woke up, and no one asked you about it. To see exactly what is happening on your machine, press Ctrl-Shift-Escape on Windows to open Task Manager, then click on the Startup tab. What you'll find there will likely surprise you and probably frustrate you. Go through that list carefully. For anything that does not absolutely need to run the moment your laptop turns on, right-click it and select Disable. You are not deleting these programs. You are not breaking anything. You are simply telling your machine, I will open you when I need you. Until then, stay quiet. Firm with conviction. This single step alone, taking 10 minutes to audit your startup programs, can reduce your boot time by 30, 40, sometimes 60%. That is not an exaggeration. That is the reality of what has been quietly happening to your machine every single morning while you waited, frustrated, for it to become usable. Chapter 3. The hidden weight, storage and clutter. There is something almost poetic and a little painful about a hard drive that has filled up over the years. Every file in there is a piece of your life. Old projects, downloaded installers for software you used once, a folder full of photos you kept meaning to organize, duplicate files, cached data from browsers and applications that adds up to gigabytes over time without you ever consciously choosing to store it. It all accumulates the way clutter accumulates in a house you've lived in for a long time. Not all at once, but gradually, until one day you look around and wonder how things got this way. But beyond the sentimentality, there is a hard technical reality here, and it matters enormously. When your storage drive, whether it's a traditional hard drive or a solid-state drive, reaches above roughly 85% capacity, your laptop's performance drops off a cliff. This isn't a minor inconvenience, it is a severe, measurable slowdown. The reason is that your operating system constantly needs free space to function, to write temporary files, to manage what's called virtual memory when your RAM gets overwhelmed, and to handle the hundreds of background tasks that keep your system running smoothly. When that free space disappears, the system starts struggling with every single operation, and you feel it in everything you do. To check where you stand, go to Settings, System, Storage on Windows, or Apple menu, About this Mac, Storage on a Mac. Look at what's taking up space. Your Downloads folder is almost always one of the biggest offenders. Downloaded files months or years ago that you completely forgot about. Go through your installed programs and uninstall anything you haven't used in the past 6 months. Empty your recycle bin. Clear your browser cache. Use a free tool like Tree Size Free on Windows to get a visual, detailed breakdown of exactly what is consuming your storage. Sometimes you'll find a single folder, a forgotten backup, or a cache from some obscure application eating up 20 or 30 gigabytes all on its own. Clear the space. Give your machine room to breathe. The effect is immediate and often dramatic, and it costs you nothing but time. Chapter 4. The upgrade that changes everything. RAM. Now I want to tell you something that doesn't get said loudly enough, something that gets drowned out by advertisements and upgrade cycles and the persistent cultural message that old technology is worthless technology. Because if your laptop is more than 3 or 4 years old and it has been slowing progressively, there is a very good chance that the single biggest culprit is not age, not wear, not anything that requires spending hundreds of dollars to fix. It is RAM, or more precisely, not enough RAM. 4 gigabytes of RAM, which was considered acceptable just a few years ago, is genuinely insufficient for the way we use computers in 2025. Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge running with just 5 or 6 open tabs, the kind of modest browsing session most people would call light use, can consume 3 to 4 gigabytes of RAM entirely on its own. Add a document opened in the background, a music app, a PDF, a few system processes, and you have already exceeded what your machine can comfortably hold in memory. When RAM runs out, your computer doesn't stop. It starts using your storage drive as emergency overflow memory, a process called paging. And storage drives, even fast solid-state ones, are nowhere near as fast as actual RAM. The result is that everything slows down. Programs hesitate. Windows take seconds to open. Your machine feels like it is thinking very hard about very simple things. To check your memory usage, open Task Manager, click on the Performance tab, and then select Memory. If you consistently see your memory usage sitting above 75 or 80% during normal use, RAM is your bottleneck. And here is the part that should genuinely anger you, given how much a new laptop costs. Upgrading the RAM on most laptops is a straightforward process that costs somewhere between $25 and $60 for an 8 or 16 gigabyte upgrade kit. Not $800, not $500, $25 to $60, a screwdriver, a YouTube tutorial, and 30 minutes of your time. Slow, deliberate. That is the upgrade that can make a 4-year-old laptop feel like a new one, and almost no one talks about it. Chapter 5. The heat problem. Thermal throttling. There's one more silent killer that affects older laptops, and it is one that is almost never mentioned in mainstream tech advice. It is heat. Specifically, the fact that laptop cooling systems, the fans, the heat pipes, the vents, accumulate dust over time. Not a little dust, layers of it, packed tight against the intake vents and around the fan blades, reducing airflow to a fraction of what it once was.
And when a laptop cannot cool itself properly, it does something deliberate and automatic. It slows itself down. This is called thermal throttling, and it is a built-in protection mechanism. Your processor senses that it is running too hot, and it reduces its own clock speed to generate less heat and prevent permanent damage. The result, from your perspective, is a laptop that feels unexplainably slow even when you haven't changed anything, because something has changed invisibly inside the machine. The vents are clogged, the airflow is gone, and the processor is quietly running at half its potential to keep itself from burning out. The fix is almost insultingly simple. A can of compressed air, which costs around $5 at any electronics or hardware store, aimed into the ventilation slots on the bottom and sides of your laptop for 30 seconds, can dislodge years of accumulated dust and restore proper airflow. If you want to verify that heat is the issue before you start, download